Have you ever noticed something strange about truly wealthy people? The ones who seem desperate to prove they're rich often aren't. Meanwhile, the people with real wealth rarely feel the need to show it. Walk through any luxury shopping district, and you'll see expensive cars, designer clothes, and luxury watches everywhere. At first glance, it looks like everyone has made it. But looks can be deceiving. Some of those people are financially free. Others are only one paycheck away from serious financial trouble. The expensive car doesn't tell you who owns it and who is still making payments. The luxury watch doesn't reveal whether it was bought with cash or credit. And the beautiful house doesn't tell you how much stress is hiding behind the front door. Yet every day, millions of people judge wealth by appearances. And that's exactly where the biggest financial mistake begins. Because looking wealthy and becoming wealthy are two completely different games. One earns attention, the other earns freedom. Most people spend years trying to win the first game, while quietly losing the second. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Money has two jobs. The first is obvious. It can buy comfort, experiences, and beautiful things. But the second job is far more valuable. Money buys options. It gives you the freedom to leave a job you hate, the freedom to start a business, the freedom to help your family without risking your own future, the freedom to say no when everyone else is forced to say yes. Real wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by the choices you can make. And those choices are usually invisible. That's why the richest person in the room often doesn't look like the richest person. They understand something most people never learn. Attention is expensive. Every time you try to convince others that you're successful, you pay a hidden price. Not just with money, but with freedom. Imagine two friends who both receive a large promotion. They earn exactly the same salary. The first friend celebrates by upgrading everything: a luxury car, a bigger apartment, designer clothes, expensive vacations. At first, it feels like success. People notice. Friends compliment them. Social media loves it. But behind the scenes, something else is happening. Every upgrade creates a new monthly payment. Every payment creates more pressure. Soon, their higher income no longer feels like freedom. It feels like maintenance. Now imagine the second friend. Instead of changing their lifestyle overnight, they continue living much the same way. They invest most of the raise. They build an emergency fund. They buy assets instead of status. 5 years later, something remarkable happens. The first friend still looks richer. The second friend actually is richer. One bought attention. The other bought freedom. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. Society rewards appearances immediately. When you buy an expensive car, people notice today. When you invest that same money wisely, almost nobody notices for years. That's why so many intelligent people fall into the same trap. The reward for showing off comes instantly. The reward for investing comes later. Our brains naturally prefer immediate rewards, even when they're smaller. It's one of the biggest reasons people struggle to build wealth, not because they don't know what to do, but because the wrong choice feels better in the moment. This is why financial success is less about intelligence and more about emotional control. Knowing how to invest is important, but controlling the urge to impress others is even more important, because every unnecessary purchase asks a simple question. Are you buying something that will make your future stronger, or are you buying something that makes today look more impressive? Those are very different decisions. And over the course of 10 or 20 years, they create completely different lives. This idea isn't new. Centuries ago, some of history's greatest strategists understood that real strength doesn't need constant attention. The more power you reveal, the more expectations you create. The more wealth you display, the more pressure follows. People expect more from you. Friends assume you can always pay. Family begins asking for help. Competitors start watching. Strangers make assumptions. Success that was supposed to create freedom slowly creates obligations instead. That's why many of the world's wealthiest people live surprisingly ordinary lives. Not because they can't afford luxury, but because they understand something more valuable than luxury: flexibility. When your lifestyle stays below your income, your choices expand. You can take risks. You can wait for better opportunities. You can survive difficult times without panic. You can think long-term while everyone else is forced to think about next month's bills. That's real power, and it doesn't need applause. But if building wealth is so simple, why do millions of smart, hard-working people still spend more as they earn more? Why does the desire to impress others often become stronger as income grows? The answer has very little to do with money. It has everything to do with human psychology. Because before you can master your finances, you first have to understand the invisible game your mind has been playing all along. If building wealth were only about earning more money, then every high-income professional would be financially free. But that's clearly not the case. You've probably met people who earn six figures yet constantly complain about money. At the same time, you've also met people with average incomes who seem calm, secure, and always in control of their finances. The difference usually isn't income, it's mindset. So why do intelligent, hardworking people keep making financial decisions that work against their future? The answer lies in one powerful force: status. Think about the last time someone your age bought a new luxury car, moved into a bigger house, or posted photos from an expensive vacation. Even if you were genuinely happy for them, a small voice in your mind probably asked, "Am I falling behind?" That reaction is completely normal. But it can also become incredibly expensive. For thousands of years, humans survived by living in groups. Your social standing affected your safety, your opportunities, and even your chances of finding a partner. So your brain evolved to pay close attention to where you ranked compared to everyone else. Today, your survival doesn't depend on having the newest phone or the most expensive car. But your brain hasn't fully caught up. It still treats status as if it's essential. The only difference is that modern society has given status a price tag. Instead of competing for survival, we compete for symbols: the bigger house, the luxury watch, the designer clothes, the newest smartphone, the expensive vacation. The problem is that status has no finish line. The moment you catch up with one group, you notice another group that appears to have even more. It's like running on a treadmill. No matter how fast you move, you never actually arrive. That's why earning more money doesn't automatically make people happier. As income rises, expectations rise with it. Yesterday's dream car becomes today's normal. The exciting new house slowly becomes just another house. The expensive watch that once felt special eventually disappears into your daily routine. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. In simple words, we quickly get used to almost everything we buy. The excitement fades. Then we start searching for the next upgrade, and the cycle repeats. Companies understand this better than anyone. Notice how advertisements rarely focus on what a product does. Instead, they focus on what owning it says about you. A watch doesn't just tell time. It represents success. A luxury car doesn't just provide transportation. It represents power. A designer suit doesn't just cover your body. It represents importance. The product is only half of what's being sold. The real product is identity. And that's why people often spend far more than they planned. They're not buying an object. They're buying a feeling. The feeling of being respected. The feeling of being admired. The feeling of finally believing they've made it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Feelings don't compound. Assets do. Every dollar used to impress strangers is a dollar that's working for your future. Now imagine two people earning exactly the same salary. One spends every raise upgrading their lifestyle. The other invests half of every raise before spending the rest. At first, there's almost no visible difference. After 5 years, the gap becomes noticeable. After 15 years, they're living completely different lives. One owns expensive possessions. The other owns income-producing assets. One depends on every paycheck. The other has money working even while they sleep. That's the hidden cost of lifestyle inflation. Most people don't lose wealth. because of one terrible financial decision. They lose it through hundreds of small upgrades that seem harmless on their own. A slightly nicer apartment, a slightly newer car, a slightly more expensive vacation, a slightly bigger monthly payment. Each decision feels reasonable. Together, they quietly steal decades of financial freedom. This is why wealthy people often ask a different question before buying something expensive. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask, "What is this going to cost my future?" Those two questions produce completely different decisions. Here's a simple exercise you can start using today. Before making any major purchase, pause for 60 seconds and ask yourself 3 questions. First, will this improve my life or simply improve my image? Second, will I still be happy with this purchase 1 year from now? Third, what investment opportunity am I giving up by spending this money today? These questions won't stop you from enjoying life. They simply help you spend with intention instead of emotion. Because there's nothing wrong with buying nice things. The problem begins when nice things start owning you. When your lifestyle becomes too expensive to maintain, you lose choices. You stay in jobs you hate. You avoid taking risks. You delay starting businesses. You become dependent on your next paycheck. And that's the exact opposite of what wealth is supposed to give you. Real wealth creates freedom, not pressure. But once you understand how status influences your decisions, another question naturally appears. If chasing attention quietly destroys financial freedom, then how did some of history's greatest strategists build enormous wealth and influence without constantly trying to impress anyone? The answer lies in one timeless principle: silent power. And no one understood that principle better than Machiavelli. By now, one thing should be clear. Building wealth isn't just about making good financial decisions. It's about avoiding the emotional traps that push you toward bad ones. But here's where the conversation becomes even more interesting. Centuries before stock markets, social media, or luxury brands existed, one man understood a principle that still shapes success today: Machiavelli. Most people remember him as someone who wrote about politics and power. But hidden inside his ideas is a lesson that applies just as much to money as it does to leadership. His message was surprisingly simple: never reveal all your strength. Because the moment everyone knows exactly what you have, they begin reacting to it. Think about it. When someone suddenly becomes wealthy and starts showing it everywhere, what usually happens? People treat them differently. Some become jealous. Some expect favors. Some ask for loans. Some assume they can always pay the bill. Others begin competing with them. Success that was supposed to create freedom suddenly creates pressure. The wealth didn't change. The attention did. And attention always comes with a cost. Machiavelli understood that true power isn't about making people stare at you. It's about giving yourself more options than everyone else. The same rule applies to money. Imagine 2 business owners. Both have built successful companies. Both earn the same income. The first owner rents an expensive office, buys luxury cars, and constantly posts their success online. From the outside, they look unstoppable. But behind the scenes, they're under constant pressure to maintain that image. Every month brings another large payment. Every client expects growth. Every setback feels like a public failure. Now look at the second owner. They invest quietly. They improve their business instead of their image. They spend money on better employees, smarter systems, and long-term opportunities. Most people underestimate them. And that's exactly the advantage. When a recession arrives, the first business struggles because it built appearances. The second business survives because it built strength. That's the difference between looking successful and becoming difficult to defeat. This idea isn't about pretending to be poor. It's about protecting your freedom. The less your happiness depends on other people's opinions, the better your financial decisions become. Because once you stop trying to impress everyone, you start asking much better questions. Instead of asking, "How can I look successful?" You begin asking, how can I become impossible to control? That one question changes everything. Someone with 6 months of savings has more freedom than someone driving a luxury car with no emergency fund. Someone with investments has more freedom than someone with designer clothes. Someone with multiple sources of income has more freedom than someone relying on one paycheck. No matter how impressive that paycheck looks, freedom is invisible, but it's the most valuable asset you'll ever own. This is why many wealthy people continue driving reliable cars long after they could afford much more expensive ones. It's not because they dislike luxury. It's because they understand opportunity cost. Every unnecessary dollar spent today is a dollar that can never compound tomorrow. Imagine spending $10,000 just to impress people you'll barely remember 5 years from now. Now imagine investing that same money. Left alone, it could grow for decades. The purchase gives you attention. The investment gives you options. One fades, the other compounds. This is where most people get wealth completely backwards. They spend their best investing years buying things that lose value. Then later in life, they wonder why financial freedom feels so far away. The wealthy often reverse the process. In the beginning, they buy assets. Later, the assets buy the lifestyle. That's why many millionaires don't look like millionaires during the years they're actually becoming wealthy. They understand that real success happens long before anyone notices it. Think of a tree. When it's just beginning to grow, its roots spread quietly underground. No one sees them, no one applauds them. But those hidden roots are exactly what allow the tree to survive storms later. Your investments work the same way, your savings work the same way, your habits work the same way. The strongest financial foundation is usually invisible. And here's a practical habit you can start today. Whenever your income increases, don't immediately increase your lifestyle. Instead, divide every raise into 2 parts. One part improves your present, the other builds your future. For example, if you receive a $1,000 monthly raise, invest at least half of it before spending the rest. That way your lifestyle improves. But your future improves even faster. Over time, this creates something incredibly powerful. Instead of your expenses growing as fast as your income, your assets grow even faster than both. That's the moment your money begins working harder than you do. And once that happens, something unexpected changes. You stop chasing attention because you no longer need other people to confirm your success. Your confidence comes from knowing what they can't see. The investments, the emergency fund, the passive income, the freedom. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson Machiavelli never wrote directly about money. The strongest position is often the quietest one. Because while everyone else is busy proving they're wealthy, you're quietly becoming it. But even after understanding this strategy, one challenge still remains. The hardest opponent you'll ever face isn't social media, it isn't advertising, it isn't your friends. It's the voice inside your own mind, the part that still wants recognition today, even if it costs you freedom tomorrow. Learning to master that voice is what separates people who simply earn money from people who build lasting wealth. At this point, you already know something that most people never realize. Building wealth isn't just about earning more. It isn't about finding the perfect investment. And it certainly isn't about looking successful. The biggest battle happens somewhere much quieter, inside your own mind. Because no matter how much money you make, you'll always face the same question. Will you choose today's pleasure or tomorrow's freedom? That question appears more often than you think. A flashy new car, the latest phone, a luxury vacation you can't quite afford, an expensive purchase made simply because everyone else seems to have it. None of these decisions feels life-changing on its own. But wealth is rarely built or destroyed by one big decision. It's built through hundreds of small choices repeated over many years. And every choice moves you in one of 2 directions, toward financial freedom or toward financial dependence. The problem is that your brain naturally prefers the first option. It wants rewards now, it wants recognition now, it wants to feel successful today. But lasting wealth rewards patience, not impulse. That's why two people with the same income can end up living completely different lives. One spends first and saves what's left. The other saves first and spends what's left. The difference sounds small. Over 30 years, it's enormous. This is why the richest people often follow systems instead of emotions. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on habits. Because motivation disappears, habits remain. Imagine waking up on payday. Before you have the chance to spend anything, part of your income automatically moves into investments. You never have to think about it. You never have to decide. The system makes the decision for you. This is how quiet wealth is built. Not through perfect timing, not through luck, but through consistency. And consistency always beats intensity. Many people search for one investment that will change their lives. The truly wealthy usually do something much less exciting. They keep investing, month after month, year after year, even when markets fall, even when headlines create fear, even when everyone else stops, because they understand one simple truth. Time is more powerful than timing. A small investment made consistently for 20 years often outperforms a brilliant investment made once. The same principle applies outside money. Healthy relationships aren't built in a weekend. Strong businesses aren't built in a month. Great careers aren't built overnight. Everything valuable compounds. Skills compound. Trust compounds. Knowledge compounds. And of course, money compounds. That's why the people who appear to become wealthy overnight usually spent years building quietly while nobody was paying attention. The success became visible. The work happened long before. So instead of asking, how can I get rich quickly? Start asking, what habits would make me richer every year? That single question changes your focus completely. Because habits create systems. Systems create results. And results create freedom. Here's a simple framework you can begin using immediately. Whenever you're about to make an expensive purchase, pause and ask yourself these 4 questions. First, do I truly need this, or do I simply want other people to notice it? Second, will this purchase improve my life 1 year from now? Third, what investment opportunity am I giving up by buying this today? And finally, does this decision increase my freedom or reduce it? If you honestly answer those questions every time, your financial life will begin changing almost immediately. Not because you'll stop enjoying life, but because you'll stop confusing luxury with success. Enjoy nice things. Celebrate your achievements. Reward yourself when you've earned it. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure your assets pay for your lifestyle, not your salary, because salaries can disappear. Assets keep working, and that's the goal. To build a life where your money works harder than you do. A life where unexpected setbacks don't become financial disasters. A life where opportunities are exciting instead of terrifying. A life where you can say no without fear. That's what financial freedom really means. Not owning everything, owning enough that your decisions belong to you. When you reach that point, something unexpected happens. You stop comparing yourself with everyone else. You no longer need expensive symbols to prove your worth. Your confidence comes from something much stronger. You know your future is secure, and that kind of confidence can't be bought. It has to be built, slowly, quietly, one decision at a time. So before we finish, remember this simple rule. Every meaningful purchase asks the same question. Will this buy me attention, or will it buy me freedom? Attention disappears, freedom grows. Attention depends on other people's opinions. Freedom depends on your own decisions. Attention feels exciting for a moment. Freedom changes your entire life. Perhaps that's why the people who quietly build wealth rarely feel the need to announce it. They already possess something far more valuable than admiration. They possess choice. The choice to walk away from a bad job. The choice to spend more time with family. The choice to invest when others panic. The choice to live life on their own terms. That is the true meaning of wealth. Not the car in your driveway, not the watch on your wrist, not the logo on your clothes, but the freedom to wake up each morning knowing your life is guided by your values, not by debt, pressure, or the need to impress anyone else. So the next time you're tempted to buy something simply because it looks successful, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one final question. Am I building a life that looks rich or a life that is truly free? Because in the end, people may remember what you drove. They may remember where you lived. They may even remember what you owned. But none of those things will determine the quality of your life. Your daily choices will. And the people who master those choices eventually discover the greatest financial secret of all. The loudest display of wealth is often insecurity. The quietest display of wealth is freedom. Build your freedom first. Everything else can come later.